Okay, so today we're talking about Smash Bros. Again, but like a different thing. Also, I'm going to a wedding later, which is why I look like this. I don't normally dress in a full suit. Yeah, so we're talking about specifically in relation to Smash, the term EKKO Fighter, and that it doesn't completely get rid of the clones of yesteryear, specifically Melee's clones, because Melee, being the second Smash Bros., was the first game to have clones in it. Unless you count like Luigi as Mario's clone in Smash 64. I guess that makes sense, so that point's kind of moot. Anyway, Melee was the one to popularize the clone, and they didn't have the term EKKO Fighter back during Melee's days, so it was a lot of people complaining about these clone characters taking up slots of completely new and unique characters, which is sort of a misunderstanding of how the Smash roster worked. I believe Sakurai stated that there were so many clones in Melee because he wanted to give us more characters, and they weren't taking time away from developing the other characters. They were just like a nice little bonus, which is what EKKO Fighters are now, and literally the only thing that changed was Sakurai and the team behind Smash decided to acknowledge the fact that they are similar but different fighters, and give them their own name, being EKKO Fighters. The point that I want to kind of make here is that there are EKKO Fighters, yes, but there are also still clones, and the reason for that is very confusing to me. EKKO Fighter, to me, should be a term that just states that this character has its moveset largely based off of another character. That includes characters like Dr. Mario, Young Link, Pichu, and all those. They might be technically different characters, and they might have more differences than an EKKO Fighter, but they're still based on an existing fighter's moveset. I would even go so far as to say that Luigi could be considered an EKKO Fighter, just because his moveset is based on Mario's moveset. In Ultimate, maybe he's different enough. He's got pretty much all different things from Mario at this point, so he's mostly a new character. And you could make an argument that he wouldn't be an EKKO even in the first Smash game. But the point I'm trying to get at is that I don't fully understand why a character like Lucina, who does have differences from Marth, was rebranded as an EKKO Fighter, but a character like Dr. Mario, who pretty much only has aesthetic changes aside from a move or two and like frame data, is not relabeled as an EKKO Fighter. And something that I sort of stumbled upon, or just realized, I guess, was that most of the clones that were not rebranded into EKKO Fighters are from Melee. And I think that's because they just put a lot more time into their development, bringing them from Melee to Ultimate, or whatever the last game they were in, back to Ultimate, like Wolf, for example. So they were just like, oh, if we spent this much time on them, they're clearly not EKKO Fighters, even though you could make a very good argument for them being an EKKO Fighter. A very confusing one to me is Isabel, who is not an EKKO Fighter, but like 90% of her moves are Villagers moves. She's based on Villagers moveset. They're not hiding that. That's very clear. And it's not like I'm mad about this or anything. It's just interesting to me that they made the distinction of EKKO Fighter and then didn't go like the full extent of it. Because there even are EKKO Fighters that you could argue are clones, who have difference enough that they don't need to be called an EKKO, but they're still basically a clone, like Chrom, for example. Chrom is an EKKO Fighter of Roy, but he borrows things from Roy, Marth, and Ike. So he's an EKKO of 3 characters, but he's not allowed to have the EKKO Fighter thing stripped from him. He's still an EKKO Fighter. He doesn't get his own spot. I don't understand that. I think in a perfect world, I would just give all the clone characters the EKKO tag. They would have to be very different to, like, obviously King K. Rool is not an EKKO Fighter of Mario, you know what I mean? But Lucina is clearly an EKKO Fighter of Marth, that's confirmed. Roy is an EKKO Fighter of Marth. Ike? No, he's not an EKKO Fighter of Marth. He might have a sword and be from Fire Emblem, but his moves are drastically different. Roy's just have firepower. He's got a sweet spot at the hilt of his sword, and he's got a few different B moves, or special moves, but like, at the end of the day, they still play very similarly. The timer went off when I was done with that last sentence. So yeah, this topic was more of just like a opening for discussion, because I am curious on what you guys think of the distinction between EKKO Fighter full fighter and clone, because I think there is one. I think there is. The distinction that's being made right now by Nintendo and Sakurai is that there are fighters and EKKO Fighters. There's no third option, but I think there's a third option, and I think that third option is clone. And it's all semantics. It doesn't matter in the end. They're just fighters that we're gonna play as. I don't know. I'm interested in these things. I'm curious as to what you guys think about this. So yeah, thanks for watching this one. I hope this was interesting in some aspect. I'm gonna go to that wedding now before I die of anxiety. Watch this video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.